Tonight, you're about to hear documented true horror stories that people still refuse to explain, even years later. These aren't internet myths. Police reports, recorded accounts, and first-hand testimonies all point to the same thing. Something happened that night. By the end of this video, you won't be scared of monsters. You'll be afraid of how easily reality can break. So if you're listening to this in bed, or alone, or late at night, you might want to keep the lights on. The Midnight Passenger. I used to think stories about ghost hitchhikers were exaggerated, the kind of stories people repeat because they sound unsettling, not because they actually happened. I'd heard them growing up. Someone driving late at night, someone stopping out of politeness, someone vanishing without a trace. I never gave them much thought. That changed one night when I was driving home from work. It was just after midnight. The road was nearly empty. Rain had been falling for hours. Not heavy rain, just enough to soften everything. The road markings, the trees, the darkness on either side. I remember feeling tired, not exhausted, just quiet inside. The kind of tired where your thoughts slow down. That's when I saw her. She was standing on the shoulder of the road, still, not waving, not pacing, just standing there, facing the road. She was wearing a light-colored dress. It clung to her like it was soaked through. For a moment, I considered driving past. Something about the situation felt wrong, but another part of me felt uneasy leaving someone out there in the rain. So I slowed down. I pulled over. When she opened the passenger door, cold air rushed into the car. The kind of cold that doesn't match the weather. She thanked me quietly and sat down. Her voice was soft, flat, like she wasn't fully there. I asked if she was okay. She nodded once. I asked where she was headed. She stared straight ahead and said,
"I just want to go home."
I waited for more. An address, a direction. Nothing came. The drive continued in silence. The windshield wipers moved back and forth. The radio flickered on for a moment, then off again. I didn't turn it back on. After a few minutes, she lifted her hand and pointed ahead. There was a cemetery coming up on the right. Old iron gates. Headstones barely visible through the rain. Trees bending over the fence like they were watching. She said,
"Here's fine."
I slowed down, pulled over near the entrance. The engine idled. I turned toward her to say something, to wish her well. The seat was empty. The door was still closed. There was no sound, no movement, just the quiet hum of the engine and the rain hitting the windshield. I sat there longer than I should have. Eventually, I drove home. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I mentioned it at the local station. I didn't expect much, but the officer grew quiet as I described her. He asked me to repeat what she was wearing. Then he left the room. When he came back, he was holding a faded photograph. She looked exactly the same. Same dress, same expression. She had gone missing years earlier, on that same stretch of road. Her car was found abandoned not far from the cemetery. They never found her. I don't drive that road anymore. And when I'm out late at night, I keep my eyes on the road and my doors locked, just in case someone else is still trying to get home. Echoes of the Chateau. I didn't believe in time slips. Not seriously. They always sounded like stories people told after getting lost, or letting their imagination wander too far. That changed during a trip to France. My friend and I were visiting a small chateau outside Paris. It wasn't famous. No long lines, no crowds, just quiet visitors in open grounds. The kind of place where history feels close, close enough to breathe. We wandered the gardens for a while before noticing a narrow gravel path behind the hedges. There was a small sign, staff only. It looked old, faded, like it had been ignored for years. We hesitated, then kept walking. The path felt different, almost immediately. The air grew cooler. The sounds from the main gardens faded. Even the wind seemed to stop. All I could hear were our footsteps. That's when we saw him. A man standing near a stone well. He was dressed strangely. Not theatrical. Not like a performer. Just outdated. A brown jacket, dark trousers, a wide-brimmed hat pulled low. He was focused on something in his hands, slowly sharpening a small metal tool against stone. The sound was soft, rhythmic. My friend stepped ahead of me and said, "Sorry," as we passed. The man didn't react, didn't look up, didn't move. I turned back after a few steps. He was gone. No sound, no movement, no place he could have gone. The well stood alone. The light felt duller, heavier. We noticed an old wooden sign leaning against a tree further down. The letters were barely visible. It read bridge. But there was no bridge, just a shallow dip in the ground covered in leaves. A feeling settled in that we weren't meant to be there. We turned around. The walk back felt longer, unfamiliar. When we stepped into the main gardens, sound rushed back all at once. That night, I couldn't sleep. I searched old maps and records of the chateau. There used to be a bridge on that path. It was removed decades ago. The staff route no longer leads anywhere. I still don't know what we saw, but sometimes I wonder if we stepped into the past, or if the past noticed us. The shadow in the mirror. I never believed in doppelgangers. The idea always felt exaggerated. Not something that could actually happen. But something started changing in my apartment. Slowly, quietly. At first, it was just a feeling. I'd come home after work and pause near the door. The air felt unsettled, like someone had been there moments before I arrived. Nothing was obviously wrong. Furniture was where it should be. Doors were locked. Still, I couldn't shake the sense that I wasn't alone. Objects began to shift, small things. A chair angled slightly differently. My keys not where I remembered leaving them. At night, I heard footsteps. Soft, measured, moving from one room to another, never rushing, never loud enough to pin down. I told myself it was the building, old pipes, neighbors walking above me, anything logical. Then I started noticing my reflection. It felt delayed. When I turned my head, it seemed to follow just a fraction of a second too late. I caught myself staring at mirrors longer than I should, waiting for something to happen. One night, While brushing my teeth, I looked up and froze. There was someone standing behind me. They looked exactly like me. Same face, same hair, same posture, but their expression was wrong. Too neutral, too aware. They weren't copying my movements. They were just standing there, watching. I spun around. The bathroom was empty. I didn't sleep that night. Over the next few days, things escalated. Coworkers asked why I'd come into the office on my day off. I hadn't. My phone showed outgoing messages I didn't remember sending. Food disappeared from my fridge. Lights were on when I knew I'd turned them off. I started locking my bedroom door at night. Then came the hallway mirror. I came home late one evening. The apartment was dark. As I passed the mirror near the door, I glanced at it out of habit and stopped. I saw myself already inside the apartment, standing in the hallway, still, facing me, smiling. Not a friendly smile, a patient one, like it had been waiting. I didn't go inside. I backed away slowly and left the building. I slept in my car that night. The next morning, I packed what I could and moved out. I didn't look in the mirrors while I did. I still avoid mirrors now, and sometimes, when I catch my reflection at the wrong angle, I look away quickly, just in case it hasn't stopped following me. Watchers in the woods. I grew up hearing stories about certain forests, places locals avoided, places people didn't hike alone, the kind of places where things went missing. I always assumed they were stories passed down to keep people cautious, until a camping trip with friends. We chose a forest locals warned us about. They told us to stay on the trail. They told us to leave before dark. They told us not to wander. We didn't listen. We arrived in the late afternoon and set up camp as the sun dipped behind the trees. The woods grew quiet faster than expected. No insects, no distant animals, just stillness. That night, something moved around the campsite. Slow, heavy, deliberate. Branches snapped under weight. Leaves crunched in a steady rhythm. It didn't rush us. It circled. We stayed still inside the tent. No one spoke. I could hear my own breathing and tried to slow it down. Eventually, the sound stopped. Morning didn't bring relief. Around the campsite were tracks, large, uneven, set too far apart to belong to anything familiar. They formed a wide circle around the tent, then disappeared into the trees. We packed up immediately. The hike back felt wrong from the start. Trails didn't line up with the map. Landmarks seemed unfamiliar. We passed the same fallen log twice, then 3 times. At one point, we entered a clearing we didn't remember seeing before. Stones were arranged in a rough circle. In the center were bones. Bleached, old. No one suggested staying. We ran. The forest seemed to close in around us. Branches snagged our clothes. The light faded too quickly. When we finally reached the road, it was dark again. We had been hiking all day. None of us could explain how. We never returned to that forest. And sometimes, late at night, when everything is quiet, I still feel like something is standing just beyond the edge of the light, watching.